Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we're going to do some more writing feedback. We have a writing IELTS academic writing task 1 and we have a process diagram. So we're going to start by reading the question, looking at the diagram, just making sure that we understand exactly what we need to do here. So let's get my buddy Mr. Pen out and start going through the thing. So the text here isn't very clear, but it's readable. The diagrams below show how glass containers such as bottles are produced and recycled. So how do we produce and recycle glass containers? As always, those of you who watch this channel regularly know that in IELTS writing task 1 academic, I'm always thinking, how can I split this into two? How can I split this into two? Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes life is beautiful and things are easy. And so we have a very easy way of splitting this into two. This and this. Glass production, glass recycling. Beautiful. So IELTS writing task 1, as always, we start with a very, simple paraphrase of the diagrams show how glass containers such as bottles are produced and recycled. Instead of show, people change it to like give information about or illustrate. So, something like the process diagrams give information about the production and recycling of glass containers. That's fine. That's the introduction. Cool. Then we want the next paragraph, just a quick overview. What is the main thing here? That there's a bit of equality between glass production and recycling, similar number of steps. So glass production undergoes 4 different steps, whereas the recycling of glass undergoes 5 or something like this. But just a basic overview, just a general picture. And in that overview, we want to mention, our 2 key features. And here, key feature 1, how is glass produced? Key feature 2, how is glass recycled? And then that allows us then for our body paragraph 1 to be all about this, and body paragraph 2 to be all about this. I'm a simple man. I think that's the easiest way to approach this. Candidates sometimes they take their own approaches, and sometimes those approaches are surprising to me. But I don't know. I don't know what approach the candidate has taken for this one, so let's check it out. Okay, 4 paragraphs, 2 clear body paragraphs. Cool, the balance of it looks pretty good. Let's check the language. So let's get Mr. Pen out again. Okay. The diagrams illustrate, cool, the process of manufacturing glass containers and recycling them, cool. We could just have the process of manufacturing and recycling glass containers. That would be a little bit more efficient, but okay. Introduction, fine. It is clear that the method of producing glass, I don't know why we need this, it is clear. That's for more like, I don't know, opinionated stuff. I don't think we need to say it is clear. There's no like subjective speculation or anything like this. Something like the method of producing glass containers consists of 4 stages is fine. I don't know about moreover here. I think like whereas might be better, or while, because like we're kind of comparing how many stages for producing and how many stages for recycling, right? So I don't know if moreover, I don't know if it's like an additionally type of thing here, but that's okay. It is clear that the method of producing glass containers consists of 4 stages. Moreover, there are 5 total stages of recycling glass. Okay, fine. It's maybe it's okay, it's natural enough. Yeah, okay, so we've started and we're absolutely fine. Let's see now how the candidate goes about, transferring bullet points and just bits of information. Let's see how the candidate goes about putting those bits of information into sentences. We want lots of sequences, then this, after that, this, followed by this. So lots of sequencing language is necessary when we're describing processes. Okay, to produce glass, good. We're right in there. We can see what this paragraph's about. At the beginning stage of the process just sounds, at the beginning stage of the process. At the beginning of the process is fine. At the first stage of the process, or in the first stage of the process, is fine. But at the beginning stage of the process just sounds a little bit awkward to me. I can't say that it's, I can't say there's a huge mistake there, but it just feels a little awkward. 4 key materials are mixed with each other. Cool. Yeah, it might be difficult to write. Well, other chemicals, are we counting that as one material? Maybe. We could simply say sand, soda, ash, limestone, and other chemicals are mixed together. But okay, 4 key materials are mixed with each other. These include, again, you have, I don't know, yeah, it's okay. These include mixing sand, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know why you just don't make it easier and say sand, soda, ash, limestone, and other chemicals are mixed together. Then you wouldn't need a separate sentence. These include mixing sand, soda, ash, limestone, Oxford comma, and other chemicals. This mixture, good use of cohesion here. This mixture, nice reference, is then heated. Cool, nice use of sequencer, is then heated. Candidate uses passive appropriately, good job, at approximately 1500 degrees Celsius. In order to create glass furnace. No, so we've just got that bit wrong. Glass furnace is the place. That's the place where we put the material. So you don't create the glass furnace. The glass furnace, we put the material into the glass furnace to melt it. So there is a key error there. To create a glass furnace, we're not creating a glass furnace, so that's a problem. Okay, afterwards, okay, this molten glass, yeah. This molten glass is shaped correctly according to the shape of the containers. Yeah, I guess so. This molten glass is shaped correctly according to the shape of the containers. Consequently, a glass container is produced. Yeah, okay. Consequently, a glass container is produced and ready to be used. Cool. So, from this, I can say that the candidate's use of passive is very good with present simple and also with passive infinitives like ready to be used. Cool. Good stuff. Maybe we could have been slightly more efficient with language use, and we just have one critical mistake where, a key feature, kind of a part of a key feature, has been misunderstood. The candidate thinks that we're creating glass furnaces. We're not. We're putting things into a glass furnace. But okay. Glass production in general, good job. Let's see now how we do with glass recycling. On the other hand, I don't love this. On the other hand, we're not. This isn't an essay. We're not like balancing. Maybe meanwhile could work here, or just something like in the glass recycling stage or something like this. It's not an on the other hand. That feels wrong here. Okay, glass recycling, the glass recycling process. So we just have a missed article here. The glass recycling process contains collecting used glasses in the first stage. Okay, changing collection, noun to collecting, verb, cool. Collecting used glasses in the first stage. These are then, cool, sorted according to their colour. Is that true? Yep. Good use of paraphrasing too, changing sorting again to sorted to their colour, and then any kinds. So, because you have kinds, this is our head noun. Of dirt is the post modifier, but any kinds are removed, not is removed, right? Dirt is removed, but any kinds of dirt are removed. And I don't know about kinds here. Kinds of dirt. You could just say, dirt is removed, but I don't even know if it's dirt. Is it? I guess we could be generous and charitable with the definition of the word dirt. Maybe waste or something like this, or unneeded features. Maybe not features, but yeah, dirt. Okay, it's all right. I can't think of impurities. Yeah, unwanted residue. I don't want to use too difficult language, but yeah, unwanted residue might be nice. Any kinds of dirt is removed by thoroughly washing them. Cool, love this use of by. The only problem is, what is them talking about here? These are I guess glasses? Used glasses? But is this cohesive enough? Is this linked enough? These are then sorted according to their colour, and then any kinds of dirt are removed by thoroughly washing them down. I don't know if this them really clearly relates to glasses. I think it does, but because we've introduced a new noun like kinds of dirt, it feels like them now talks about the kinds of dirt. So I don't know, maybe I'm too fussy here, but this them, it's, I would say, a very slightly ambiguous pronoun, just slightly confusing. Afterwards, we get a repeat of afterwards. Maybe try a bit more flexibility, like after that or following that. These glasses are crushed and melted. Are crushed and melted. Yeah, maybe, instead of these are then, you could just say these glasses are crushed and melted and then molded, and that would make it even more cohesive. And then molded in order to shape it. So we get glasses, but to shape it. So what is it talking about here? It can't be talking about glasses because glasses is plural. Are molded in order to shape it for the required container. I'm a little bit confused. I have to refer back now. So these glasses are crushed and melted. And then molded in order to shape it. It's going to be for the new. We do get that new here. Consequently, recycling the glasses into new products. We might want to mention that the glass is crushed and melted in order in the shape of those new containers. It says the required container, and that just left me a bit confused, and I had to go back to the diagram to kind of check what it means. And usually, sometimes we just do that anyway, but usually if you're reading a task one and then you have to go back just to check what is meant, that's, could be a slight problem with coherence and cohesion, perhaps. But okay, very, very accurate in terms of grammar, I will say that. Just one little mistake with, an article. Let's have a look at some marks. So task achievement, very strong. I think the candidate has covered everything. I think I can award an 8 here. The only, maybe an examiner would think that this in order to create glass furnace is maybe should bring it down further, but I don't really see a need for that. I think 8, I do think, everything has been explained well. There was a slight, maybe just a slight thing here. I was thinking, in order to shape it for the required container, and I had to go back to the diagram, but I think in general, candidate has selected the key features. Kind of easy to do that in a process diagram. You just talk about everything. Not in all process diagrams, but in many of them. So yeah, for me, the task achievement is almost fully complete. One small little misunderstanding, but apart from that, great. I think I can award 8 for this. Coherence and cohesion, I'm going to award slightly lower for this. Felt like some of those pronouns were just a bit weird. Like washing them down. I wasn't quite sure what this them was talking about. And then shape it. I wasn't quite sure what that it was talking about. Could be a little mechanical with the repetition of afterwards, maybe. Sometimes it's like 2 sentences could be turned into one. Like instead of saying here the process glass at the beginning stage of the to produce glass at the beginning stage of the process, 4 key materials are mixed with each other. You could have just said at the beginning stage of the process, sand, soda, ash, limestone, and other chemicals are mixed together. That would be more cohesive. So there are some small problems, and also on the other hand, that's kind of weird cohesion, because I don't know if we're really, on the other hand is often used to balance arguments and feels a little bit off. So for me, coherence and cohesion, score of 7. Lexical resource, a few kind of small awkward choices with wording. Not many, but like the beginning stage of the process is a bit weird. Are mixed together, I would probably use instead of mixed with each other, but mixed with each other is fine. I don't have a problem with that. Again, this afterwards repeated twice, not a big problem. Yeah, candidate uses paraphrase to very good effect, changing verbs into nouns, nouns into verbs, and so on. Don't see any big limitations. So a little bit of, some slight awkward use of vocab, but nothing critical. For me, that means I can award it a score of, a score of 8 for lexical resource. Grammatical range and accuracy, I think we have a full, everything is required. 1 missed article, not going to cry about it. Maybe the pronoun using these glasses and then using it, that is a bit strange. Yeah, it's kind of a fairly basic mistake. Yeah, maybe for those 2, the glass recycling and shape it, and also to create a glass furnace should be used too, even though there's a misunderstanding, there's a missing article. So because of those 2 mistakes with articles and that kind of, wrong pronoun and kinds of dirt is removed, yeah, I'm going to pull it down to 8. Could it be 7? Yeah, I think there is enough there I think there's enough there to award an 8 for grammatical range and accuracy. Really great mastery of the passive. Yeah, lots of nice infinitives and things like this. There are constructions. Yeah, all good stuff. So overall, the candidate for this gets a score of 7.5. Feels a little bit unfair, doesn't it, when you get overall 7.5. Feels a bit unfair when you get 888, but then 17, but that's enough to pull it down to a 7.5. Of course, the real score is 7.75, but we know, some people argue, we know that in writing and speaking, 0.75s and 0.25s, they round down, not up. The overall score rounds up, the individuals in speaking and writing, 0.75, 0.25, round down. So 7.5, very, very, very strong piece of writing. Quite a friendly process diagram, I will say that. You just need to, walk through all of those steps. And I think, yeah, great job. Do be careful with your articles. Do be careful with your subject verb agreement, like especially when you have like kinds of dirt, where you have to think, well, which one is the head noun here? Kinds of dirt are, but dirt is. So yeah, couple of tiny mistakes there, but still a very, very good piece of writing. Puts the candidate at 7.5, which is right in the middle of C1. Yeah, good job, great stuff, well done, maladiats. Yeah, so I hope the breakdown and feedback of this writing was useful for you. Writing task ones, we don't need to do anything revolutionary, especially with process diagrams. If there are like 9 stages like in this one, just talk about all of the stages, make sure you're paraphrasing and use lots of good sequencing language, and you should be fine. If you think I've been too harsh or too generous, please do let me know. I know some people recently have told me that I'm too generous. Cool. I don't think I am, but okay. And if you'd like me to check your IELTS writing, or if you'd like a free practice speaking test with lots of feedback, I get all of my candidates from my Telegram channel, Expert Examiner, and there is a link to this channel in the description below. More videos coming soon, but for now, bye-bye.